Thanks very much, Elise. This month is the month to sign children up for primary, a nervous time for any parent or caregiver. There are ways to prepare your preschooler for their very first day in elementary school, and that's what we're talking about this morning in Better Grades with Lauralee Burgess of Oxford Learning. Good morning.
Good morning, Heidi.
Yes, this is a little tense, right? Because people start thinking, oh, sending the little one off to the first day of school.
It's a little scary this time for parents, for sure.
But there are things they can do to kind of prepare their young one for school, and a lot of it has to do with like literacy and kind of getting them up to speed in that way. So how do you do that?
So there's all kinds of ways that you can start to introduce reading into the home. Things like board games are a really great way to get kids, practice their reading skills, letter recognition.
What are those,
at this
Lori?
point.
Lauralee.
This point, it's really things like letter recognition and things like that. So I know most kids might not know what a board game is,
right?
At this
but remember
point.
that. So we're talking about the non-tech version of a game, you know, so something like Monopoly, I suppose.
Or non-computerized version.
Non-computerized games. So that actually helps literacy.
Yes, yeah. So board games, they work on things like numeracy skills or problem-solving skills. Those kinds of things are a really great way to introduce at an early age. Reading books. So the more you can read with your kids, that's something lots of people hear over and over again, but the more they read with their kids, the better example that sets that reading is fun. So that's a really great way to...
That's a good one as well. Making it fun is a big thing. What about an outing to the library?
Libraries are great.
Would that be good? Okay.
Yes, we were just saying that there's a brand new library downtown Halifax. So getting out to the library, again, showing the kids that reading is fun, that books are exciting, those are all really great ways to get them interested. But the libraries have lots of programs too, so different activities that kids can participate in while they're there.
So that's a good idea too. Plus, I suppose it familiarizes them with the idea of a library, because there'll be one in their school, right?
That's
so it's like, there's a library, this is how it works. Let's see, getting creative while reading, what does that mean?
Yes, so some ideas that when you are reading, have the kids come up with an alternate ending, or have them draw a picture of the story or what they think might come next. They can act out a little scene of how they think the story looks. So really, when we're working on reading, you want the kids to be able to picture that in their mind. What does the story look like? So, oftentimes when they're little, there's pictures and things, but talking about what comes next, what do they think might happen, what would they like to see happen, those are all ways to get them to think about what it is that they're reading.
That's a good idea. That's almost like doing a book report or something that they'll have to do later on in their school career, right?
That's right. Get them thinking about it.
Thinking about what they're reading. That's a really neat one. But reading isn't always about books, though, is it?
No, absolutely not. So reading can take place in many different forms. Oftentimes we, want kids to sit down and read a book, but there's reading, cereal boxes or newspaper, street signs, a recipe, even video games. Some of those have reading and things in them. So try to incorporate reading in different ways, and don't feel that it's always about sitting down reading a book.
And again, that gets to being creative as well. And parents need to know that they should practice what they preach.
That's right.
Lead by example.
For sure. And the more kids see parents reading, the more they will see that it's socially acceptable activity. So have books out around the house, have books in their room, but make sure that they see you reading and see that it is fun.
Just make it part of your everyday life.
That's right.
Sounds good. And don't sweat it. It'll be okay when that first day of school eventually arrives in the fall.
There's still time.
It's going to be okay. Thanks so much for this. Really appreciate it. Good to see you. All right, let's go over to Elise.